They both show up on kids' lunchboxes, fantasy novels, and tattoo shops. A white horse with wings. A white horse with a horn. Most people think they're just two versions of the same magical horse. They're not. One was born from the blood of a monster, when her head was cut off. The other was hunted by kings, because its horn could supposedly cure poison. One belongs to Greek gods of war and thunder. The other belongs to medieval forests and virgin maidens. Today we settle it. Pegasus vs. Unicorn. The real mythology difference. I'm Den's Mythos, and this channel is where we untangle the myths Hollywood mashed together. If this blew your mind, hit subscribe. Den's Mythos is where we hunt the real stories behind the legends, from Olympus to Valhalla to the jungles of the Mire. Let's start where they were actually born. Pegasus is not a species. In Greek myth, there is only one Pegasus, and his birth is metal. When the hero Perseus beheaded Medusa, her blood hid the sea, and from that blood, mixed with Poseidon, god of the sea, sprang a fully grown winged horse. He didn't stay wild for long. Pegasus flew straight to Mount Olympus and became the thunder-bearer for Zeus himself. Later, the hero Bellerophon tamed him, not with a golden bridle from a fairy tale, but with help from Athena to kill the chimera. So, Pegasus is Greek, divine, and born from violence and gods. The unicorn has no single birth story because it wasn't Greek at all. The version we know comes from medieval Europe around 500 AD, and later, early naturalists actually thought unicorns were real animals living in India, super shy and impossible to catch. By the Middle Ages, the church turned it into a symbol of purity. The legend said only a virgin maiden could call a unicorn, which is why kings used that story to trap them. It got so important that Scotland made the unicorn its national animal. It is still on the royal coat of arms today. This is where people get confused because Hollywood gave unicorns wings. In original myth, they never had them. Pegasus, body of a horse, huge bird-like wings, usually pure white. His power is flight, speed, and divine connection. One myth says, when his hoof struck Mount Helicon, it created Hippocrene, the spring of the muses that gave poets inspiration. Unicorn, also white, also horse-bodied, but one long spiraled horn on its forehead. No wings. Its power is not in the sky. It is in the horn. Medieval bestiaries claimed the horn could purify poisoned water and heal disease. That is why unicorn horns were sold for fortunes. They were usually just narwhal tusks. So if you see a horse with both a horn and wings, that is not Pegasus, and it is not a classic unicorn. That is an alicorn, a modern fantasy mashup from the last 30 years. Myths are not just cool creatures, they are symbols. Pegasus stood for strength, valor, and honor. He was a war horse for heroes. That symbolism lasted. In World War II, British airborne forces used Pegasus as their emblem, and the bridge they captured on D-Day is still called Pegasus Bridge. The unicorn meant the exact opposite energy: innocence, purity, grace, and being untouchable. It would run from anyone corrupt and only appear to the pure-hearted one, is about reaching the heavens through power. The other is about staying pure on earth. Blame three things: My Little Pony, Instagram filters, and lazy fantasy art. In the 1980s onward, toy companies needed a girl version of Pegasus, so they added a horn to the winged horse. The internet called it an alicorn. Search data today shows people literally type Pegasus versus unicorns because they think it is a fair fight. It is not. It is like comparing a fighter jet to a sacred relic. Different jobs, different myths. If we go by original myths, not fan fiction, in a straight battle, Pegasus wins on mobility. He flies, he served Zeus, he fought monsters. But the unicorn was never meant to fight. Its win condition was surviving by being too pure to catch. In medieval stories, hunters never killed it with strength. They tricked it with innocence. So the real answer: Pegasus wins the sky. The unicorn wins the legend of purity. They were never supposed to meet. That is the real mythology difference. One Greek war steed born from Medusa's blood. One European forest guardian turned national symbol. Which one did you grow up believing in? Comment below and tell me what mythical matchup you want next. If this cleared things up, like and share. It helps the channel more than you know. See you in the next myth.